Amid ongoing uncertainty around Ukraine-Russia negotiations, diplomatic maneuvering has intensified. While the Kremlin has proposed a second round of face-to-face peace talks in Istanbul, Ukraine has withheld confirmation of its attendance, citing the absence of a formal Russian memorandum outlining concrete proposals. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy emphasized that any meaningful dialogue must be anchored in clear terms and advance preparations, stating that the killing of people must stop for talks to hold value. Despite prior engagement on May 16, that initial Istanbul session produced little beyond a prisoner exchange agreement. Meanwhile, Turkey, positioned as a mediator, has been advocating for a broader summit involving the leaders of Ukraine, Russia, the United States, and Turkey, signaling Ankara's intent to facilitate a breakthrough. Parallel to these diplomatic developments, political pressure from Washington is gaining momentum. U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham, speaking during a visit to Kyiv, announced that the Senate would push forward next week with a bipartisan bill to enforce sweeping new sanctions on Russia. With 82 co-sponsors, the proposed legislation targets not just Russian exports, but also countries that continue to import Russian oil, gas, and uranium, introducing tariffs as steep as 500%. Graham sharply criticized the Kremlin for prolonging the war and accused President Vladimir Putin of staging a Russian charade by using peace talks as a delay tactic. He emphasized that these sanctions are designed to provide President Trump with leverage at the negotiating table, suggesting that punitive economic measures could prompt more serious engagement from Moscow. Meanwhile, broader geopolitical issues loom over the negotiations, particularly the future of NATO expansion. In a noteworthy statement, Trump's envoy to Ukraine and Russia, Kellogg, described Russia's opposition to NATO's eastward enlargement as a fair concern. He clarified that Ukraine's accession to the military alliance is not currently on the table, a sentiment reportedly shared by multiple NATO members. Kellogg added that upcoming talks in Istanbul aim to reconcile the competing memorandums drafted by Kyiv and Moscow into a unified proposal. Despite diplomatic frustrations, he reiterated Trump's commitment to facilitating dialogue and cautioned against further military escalation, citing a staggering 1.2 million combined casualties as evidence of the war's devastating scale.